Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the 90th Minute. We are your hosts, myself, Liam, Woz, Lucas, and Greg today. Rasta might be joining us later on during the question time. We'll see.
His name is Matt.
There. His name is Rasta in this
Matt.
podcast. If you are new to the 90th Minute, please make sure you are subscribed here on YouTube. Remember to hit like on this video and comment down below. Get involved with the channel, get involved with the podcast, ask your questions, talk about whatever we talk about today. If you are listening to us on audio apps, thank you very much. Make sure you are following on Spotify. Help us share, get our name out there. It's been a big week of football.
Yeah.
We're gonna run over Lucas today.
Before we get into it, I was also on a podcast called Two Balls and a Mic. They're a great football podcast from San Diego. Go check them out. Their podcast should be also out on this day as well. So after you're done listening to this, go check them out. I shared a little bit of stories on how the 90th minute kind of started, my thoughts in United. It was fun. They're good guys. So yeah, go check them out. Two Balls and a Mic.
Two balls and a mic. There we go. But yes, it is a big week in the in England, especially FA Cup action and Premier League, but across Europe altogether. We are starting today in the FA Cup, just like we did last week.
2 weeks ago.
We're starting in one place only.
Well, we're recording this like an hour after Liverpool got Bruno'd. Bruno happened.
Got Bruno'd. That's the way.
Manchester United knock out Liverpool.
No, it was a
3-2.
fantastic match.
It was, and the 90th Minute did live stream this one on Twitch. It was twitch.tv/the90th Minute official. We're going to start doing a bit of live streams on there. If you have watched our YouTube live streams, we're going to continue those still, but we're also going to do some on Twitch as well, kind of spread it out. So check us out there if you are new to the channel. Links will be in the description. But yes, we're going to talk about Manchester United versus Liverpool. Two huge clubs, two potential favorites to win this FA Cup, and Liverpool are out already. Lucas, I want Lucas to talk first. Waz, you'll get your time, don't you worry. But Lucas, after the week you have endured, let's say, suffered, how are you feeling?
I mean, with the FA Cup, obviously it sucks to lose to Manchester United, and I'm going to hear more from Waz very soon here. I'm not really surprised that we got eliminated from the FA Cup with the form we've been in. I'm happy Liverpool actually scored a goal today. That was nice, but then we didn't really defend too well on a few occasions. I just think Liverpool normally get eliminated around this point in the FA Cup, so getting eliminated from the FA Cup, that isn't something new really, but of course it's unfortunate because you want to be competing for silverware, but things aren't going well in the league this month at least, and I think this is a good not a wake-up call. There's been multiple wake-up calls already, but it's a good time to reassess what's coming forward. No, the rest of a tough Premier League schedule coming up with tough matches against City, Leicester, Spurs in the next month, and a Champions League coming up, and that's a trophy Liverpool definitely want to win as well. And while things are looking difficult in the Premier League at the moment, you can't count them out in the Premier League challenge, but they have multiple things they need to figure out, and yeah, I've spoken long enough there.
I find it interesting you said that Liverpool usually get knocked out at this stage of the FA Cup. Interestingly, your worst opponent ever in the FA Cup is actually Manchester United. United have knocked you guys out of the tournament 10 times now in the tournament's history. So, a bit of an interesting statistic there. Old Trafford has been an interesting place for United this season. Not as good as their road form, but you guys are starting to get more consistent. Some good players. You got Van de Beek involved today. You got Mason Greenwood. He performed fantastically for you guys. You got a goal and assist.
I know. Last week the week I wasn't here, you called him overrated, Liam.
I do think he's still overrated. He's a great player. He's a great player.
Yeah,
I've never seen him as a bad player.
He's dealt with some personal issues, which was likely affect his,
100%. But the way that United fans talk about him as if he's the next
quite
coming
good.
of Christ
he's one
Almighty.
of the best finishers in the league.
I mean, that's a bit of a stretch, but
I mean, which foot's his strongest? I don't know.
As a professional player at the top level, you should be able to finish with both your feet.
I mean, you'd be surprised with some players.
I 100%, but you should be able to.
Okay, all right, Liam, relax.
Talk about Manchester United. Talk about your performance. You deserve to have your time now.
It wasn't terrible, obviously. We scored 3 goals against Liverpool. You can't complain about that. We exposed their back line with Fabinho. Who else was in the back? I didn't remember the full starting 11. I was quite
Reece
tired.
Williams, center back.
Yeah, William was not too good. I thought he was one of your shocking players.
He looked out of depth. He did.
Our defensive line, though, on the other hand, was kind of alarming with some of the goals that we conceded. I thought there wasn't a single I'm not gonna single anyone out. It's more so it was a defensive line issue I noticed where we kind of just let you guys through almost with some goals.
I thought on one or two of the goals, Lindelof kind of got pulled.
Yeah.
He left his zone because United, they do a zonal marking system, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I know, Lucas, you criticize the zonal marking all the time, but
not really.
But yeah, you always do. You prefer man to man. Come on.
I've never said anything like that. What?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm sure you have. I'm making things
I
up
don't
in my
know
head,
if he
but
has.
But I thought with Lindelof, he was kind of pulled off out of his zonal marking and left gaps in that back line.
We allowed too much space for every goal that Liverpool scored against us, and we know how they can score with Salah. Salah played well. He's probably been Liverpool's best player this season, I would say. It was just a great game overall. It could get either way. I thought Liverpool were dominating a little bit of the second half, but you give United those chances and they're going to score. And I thought Cavani was brilliant. I think Cavani's really saying, hey, Martial, I deserve to be playing a bit more than you. So that was good. It was good to see the Van de Beek playing. I thought he played a good match. Nothing too crazy, but he played well. Pogba was good defensively going forward as well. It was just a classic, an FA Cup classic. So,
no, I liked United. I liked how they performed.
Bruno's free kick.
Bruno's free kick was special.
Dirty. Sorry, Lucas. People say he doesn't show up in big games. He proved the critics wrong in this one. I know it's an FA Cup, but it's still Liverpool. It's a top 6 side, and if he can start doing that against the Spurs and City, we could probably win the title. If we have those kind of performances from Bruno. He did get subbed on later. I was happy he got a bit of rest. Same with Shaw. So I like the squad rotation. I hope to see more of Eric Bailly in the Prem. I don't know who we're taking on next, but it was a great game. I'm so glad we were able to beat Liverpool at Old Trafford. If the fans were at this game, beautiful.
So, Lucas, your favorite signing for Liverpool this summer was Thiago. Unfortunately, Thiago has not. Liverpool have not won a game yet when Thiago has started. That's a bit of a shocking display.
I don't know if you can just blame Thiago though. On that.
No, definitely not. But I'm just interesting little tidbit of information. Another one I got here. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Everyone says he's out of his depth. He's not good of a manager. So far in his managerial career, he's beaten Jurgen Klopp, he's beaten Bielsa, Mourinho, Guardiola, Thomas Tuchel, Ancelotti, Hasenhüttl, Nagelsmann, and Pochettino. Good job, Ole. He's at the wheel.
Yeah, he's beating some of the top managers in the league. Everyone calls him a PE teacher, but he's starting to prove himself. I think he's been improving as a manager as the season goes on. I think we've been very fortunate to not have as many injuries as some clubs like Liverpool, like City. I know last year that was a big issue with us. We did have Pogba out for majority of the year, and Rashford was injured before Bruno. So things are just clicking, and we're just very fortunate once again to have no injuries. Bailly's healthy. We've signed some good players. I know they're not playing as much like Telles, Van de Beek, but players are starting to prove themselves at United, and you can see kind of why they're in the title challenge. A lot of people are still saying, "Oh, City is the best uniformed team," obviously, but. Yeah.
We will talk about the Premier League more after the FA Cup. We'll get into the fixtures there. Very quickly to wrap up this one, I love your midfield. Pogba's playing fantastic right now. Of course, Bruno is one of the best in the league. And Scotty McSauce.
Scotty McSauce is
Scotty and Fred.
Good.
They both
Scotty McSauce.
Well, you can see why Van de Beek's not starting because they're playing so well. There's so much competition in that midfield.
The competition's great for your team.
But that's what I wanted to ask you. Is that but you put Bruno in and you probably put De Gea in. Is that your starting 11 that you think United should always run?
I think so, yeah. I mean, I think unfortunately Martial hasn't proven. I know there's one of our listeners. He's very critical about Mies and our comments about Martial, but I'll be honest, Martial he hasn't provided enough up front this season. I know in like maybe last year he had a nice run of form, but we're giving him a lot of opportunities. And his finishing hasn't been the greatest. That's what we want from him. And Cavani's just making smart decisions, great runs, great passes.
Good hold-up play.
It's just not even the finishing. I mean, he could have had a goal as well. He hit the post.
Yeah.
So Cavani has been brilliant.
Ultimately, this was a very even match. I mean,
Yeah.
it was 14 shots each, 6 each on target. Possession was only split by about 8%. So, I mean,
And look,
it was very close. And ultimately, United just had a little bit more luck, a little bit
And
more
also,
quality potentially, and they
on top
get
of
the victory today.
Martial, I don't think we should sell him. Before people start thinking that, I don't want him to be another scapegoat like Lukaku. Just get rid of him because he's not working. No, give him. I know he's young. He's young, so he can still. He needs time to maybe mature, and you never know. Maybe he can come up big for us late in the season.
Yeah.
Anthony, he's got the talent. He's got the footwork. He can finish. We know that. So, yeah, I don't think he's still a good option to have.
Should we move on from this match?
For sure, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, we'll quickly go through the rest of the Sunday fixtures. Chelsea, they got a 3-1 victory over Luton Town. Snowy affair at Stamford Bridge. It was not the most I mean, Luton Town, they credit to them for scoring a goal at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea. Kepa was in net today. He had a bit of a shocking performance, a goal that he did let in. He probably should have comfortably saved. Timo Werner, he did miss a penalty, so his confidence is absolutely in the gutter. I don't know what's going to happen there with him. Leicester City, they got a 3-1 victory over Brentford. Of course, Brentford performed very well last round. Leicester, though, they are flying at the moment. The Foxes are performing just above all levels of expectations. And then if we want to move on, Greg, I'm so sorry. Burnley knock out Fulham 3-0. Greg, have your say.
There's really not much to say. It's just, I kind of expected this in a way to where I thought we could win, but we're definitely focusing on the league and we're missing some key players that just, of course, weren't playing. I was telling Lucas this before the podcast. There's still too much deadwood on Fulham. There's too many deadwood players, honestly, that are just, they're not cut out for the Prem, and it's hard to bring in so many players. We have so many lone players, so I really don't know if we, because of course we go down, we have these players for the championship, but if we stay up, there's a lot of permanent signings that need to be made and everything for us to stay up next year, just give or take. But it's
yeah. I mean, ultimately, you just said there. I mean, you guys are focusing on the league, staying up in the Premier League. So I don't think you'll be too upset about getting knocked out of the cup at this round.
Yeah, we've made 5 new defensive signings. Only one of them played that game. So and that just shows where the difference was in the our first few games in the Prem, where we weren't using any of them and we were conceding 3-4 goals a game compared to now being one of the better defensive sides in the league.
Also quickly on this on Sunday, Everton are playing Sheffield Wednesday. It's currently 1-0 Everton, about half an hour in. Let's move on to the Saturday fixtures. Let's start with Southampton Arsenal. The Gunners have been in great form so far the past couple months, but it is Southampton who are going through a 1-0 victory at St. Mary's over the Gunners. Gabriel scored an own goal in the 24th minute. It wasn't the best of matches, I'm going to be honest, but it was a great result.
The holders are out already to Southampton, but credit to Southampton. I mean, I didn't watch this match, but Southampton have, in general, played well this season in all across competitions.
Big man Fraser Forster starting in it.
One thing I heard was that Jan Bednarek played well this game, the Polish center back, who apparently for many has been very underrated this year. So, yeah, it's good to see a Polish center back doing in the Prem. Yeah, credits to Southampton. They're through.
Well, Southampton and Arsenal play each other in the league, actually. On Tuesday as well. So
Arsenal did rotate their side. I mean, the front four was Pepe, Willian, Martinelli, and Nketiah, so...
They have to be more focused on the Prem right now to qualify for a European position. I mean, we all know how successful they are in the FA Cup, but if you're an Arsenal supporter, I think we need to focus on the league right now.
Yeah, there's a lot riding on climbing up the table.
It's disappointing, but it's not their biggest focus.
To talk about other Premier League sides quickly first, Sheffield United got a 2-1 victory over Plymouth Argyle. Green Army. This club is. It's a 2-1 victory. They're through the next round, but that is a shocking result. I gotta be honest. West Ham, they get a 4-0 victory over Doncaster Rovers. Good result there for the Hammers. Manchester City, 3-1 over Cheltenham Town, but
They survived.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It was a scare.
some nervy moments there for Pep Guardiola. It was Cheltenham Town who did take the lead first, 59th minute by Mr. May. And then it was a bit of a stalemate for a while. It was a bit of tensions rising, but Manchester City ultimately do come out on top. Phil Foden scoring in the 81st minute.
You know what sucks about this?
What sucks about this, sir?
When they're playing, I went live on Twitch, and someone in my chat immediately is like, City are losing, so I immediately turn on the game. I'm just laughing my ass off, like, they're losing in the stadium. I turn on the game. As soon as I turn it on, Foden scores.
You know what?
As soon as he scores to tie it, and then it just spirals of control. I'm like,
yeah, Foden
sucks.
scored, Gabriel Jesus
I
scored,
sounded
and then
so
Fernando
cocky.
Torres, yeah.
I'm like, you guys suck. City sucks. And then City did their, usual things. And
Like I said to Lucas right after this game, I said, I hate Man City because they don't enjoy the fairy tale of the FA Cup.
No.
I mean, a great story of Cheltenham
Yeah.
Town knocked him out. Oh, just
Alfie
Man City, let
May.
it happen. You don't need this trophy. It's
But-
okay. Just let the storyline happen.
Yeah, just lose a
Yeah,
game.
I mean-
Just lose.
Yeah. Just throw it, man. Who cares? It's only the FA Cup. You got Champions League, you got Premier League, you get whatever else. You get
a
the
few
Saudi
other
Cup
things
probably.
to mention, I guess, quickly. Leicester beat Brentford 3-1. Everton is currently beating Sheffield
already
Wednesday as
mentioned-
we're
Talked
recording.
about this. Did you
Oh,
not hear
sorry.
any of that? We went through all the Sunday matches.
Oh, wait. This is Sunday. Oh, I'm dumb.
Yeah. But yes,
Oh my
Swansea
God.
beat Nottingham Forest 5-1. That's a huge result
Someone
for
in
them.
our Instagram or someone asked us, can you make a TikTok about you talking about the match? Swansea
I did not watch this one, but it was
Nottingham,
a huge
congrats
result for them.
to Swans.
Millwall are out after losing 3-0 to Bristol City. Brighton and Hove Albion, they win 2-1 over Blackpool. No Tangerine Party,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And the final match was Barnsley 1-0 over Norwich City. Actually, there was another one. Friday had Wolves going through against Chorley 1-0.
And then you have
Spooky.
tomorrow, one today, Wickham taking on Tottenham. So
I'm hoping for a big upset.
Hopefully, Akinfenwa just bullies them. Probably won't happen, but
The one
Sends-
thing I found really funny about this entire situation was I tuned in to the end of the stream for you guys, and my favorite is Woz saying after beating Liverpool, "Oh, we're going to the semifinals."
yeah,
Yeah,
When-
yeah. Walsall,
No.
this is the quarterfinals here.
No, that
he's
was the
not.
fourth round. Just to confirm, there are some ties already set up. Wolves are taking Southampton in the 5th round. Leicester, Brighton, Swansea versus City. United take on West Ham. Sheffield versus Bristol. And Barnsley versus Chelsea.
Well, I'm excited to see Wolves versus Southampton. That'd be good.
Definitely.
United versus West Ham. Who knows? West Ham have been all right this season.
Yeah, we'll beat them.
No, I love the FA Cup. It's one of the best competitions out there. Should we move to the Premier League now?
Well, yeah, let's transition to the Premier League. We'll cover the midweek matches. If you guys didn't catch it, we did a live stream of Leicester versus Chelsea and Fulham versus United. Let's start with Leicester versus Chelsea, which was a pretty big game. Leicester beating Chelsea 2-0 last Tuesday.
Loved it.
Frank's job is
loved it.
on the line. He's on the hot seat without a doubt.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. After the money spent this summer, the players have not performed at the level they should, and I mean, I want to talk about Chelsea, but I want to give so much credit to Leicester because they're performing at such a great level right now.
Yeah, Leicester came out
definitely.
flying in the match and just were dominant. They got their 2
Lucas,
goals
what are you
and then-
thinking, Lucas?
Well, I said I thought Frank Lampard would get sacked after this match if they lost, and he didn't get sacked, but more and more reports are coming out of Chelsea looking at potential options. There's mention of Tuchel, Allegri. I'm pretty sure I heard Avram Grant somewhere.
One report that I read was that Chelsea want a manager who can actually speak German to help settle these players in. They do have
That'd
a
be a
lot of
good idea,
German-speaking
I
players.
think, but-
Nagelsmann's been thrown around. Ralph Hasenhutl's been thrown around, which I would love that. I think he's a fantastic manager. I honestly, he's a great manager.
Don't go there, Ralph.
At the beginning of this year, I thought the United would kind of suck ass and that Ralph could be a great replacement at Old Trafford. I honestly thought that. But no.
But Liam, to be fair, with the German-speaking
finish
thing, Timo Werner
Yes.
and Havertz probably know English, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm just repeating reports that I saw on Twitter. I mean, you think you have Rudiger as well in the back line there. He's trying to settle in.
I mean, Rudiger's been there for years.
100%.
Bruce has been at Chelsea for a while, so
100%.
Remember,
But
Still
just,
trying to
yeah.
settle in as a
remember
top
his
center back, though.
introduction transfer with the kit? I want the Rudiger kit.
I
No.
remember that was silly.
I do
remember,
not
I know what he's
remember
talking about. Yeah, that was.
Let's finish off Tuesday. West Ham
This is a
United.
comment on Chelsea. Aside from the signings not clicking, what is another issue? Is their defense honestly an issue as well now? Thiago Silva, I know he had a great start of the season, but I mean, he's been. What do you guys think of just
Slow.
in general right now?
No pace at all.
I
I'm
mean,
not gonna blame pace, but just
I don't think the defense is
Midfield
the
as well.
worst issue compared to other problems in the squad, because I feel like Chelsea have a lot of problems actually creating chances in general,
Yeah.
other than crosses.
I think it's midfield, yeah.
Let's just give a little credit to Leicester from that match. I thought James Maddison played fantastic, of course. Yuri Tielemans and Didi, Fafana, Harvey Bar. Like the team, they're just flying. They're so fun to
Yeah.
watch.
They are
we-
absolutely flying right now.
For me, they've been probably the best, most enjoyable team to watch in the Premier League.
I mean, so to talk about the Chelsea midfield, so they started off with Kovacic, Mount, and Havertz.
I mean,
That's not exactly a strong defensive midfield at all.
Kovacic is not. I mean, he had a pretty good season beforehand, but the
Then you
things
look on
are-
the bench. I mean, on the bench had Jorginho on the bench. They had Billy Gilmore on the bench. Yeah, they're missing N'Golo Kante a lot right now. But it's just I don't know.
Another thing I
It's
was
missing something.
to comment with Leicester, as Jamie Vardy did get injured supposedly. I think it was this weekend, so they'll be missing him. I think definitely.
He's gonna be out for I think about 4 to 6 weeks with something like that.
It's a
Small
big
surgery
loss, but I
required.
think they'll still find a way to create goals.
Just
same
to
with same with Kevin De Bruyne. Might as well.
Yeah,
Kevin
Kevin
De
De
Bruyne
Bruyne
is
got
out,
injured for City. He's out for a few weeks, which
I think he's out for about
unfortunate-
2 months. Yeah.
2 months.
Yeah.
I still think they'll be fine. They got great quality players.
Just to compare though, so like I read there, the Chelsea midfield of Mount, Kovacic, and Havertz. Would you have that, or would you have Ndidi, Tielemans, or Madison? Like
Leicester's easily right
that
now.
Leicester midfield is one
But
of the best in the
Lucas
league.
says,
Honestly,
that's like one of those things like called prisoner of the moment. Or of course you're gonna
those
go to
are
the Leicester team.
those are 3
They're flying.
individually great players.
And Brandon Rodgers has just been playing to the best. He's doing his best at Leicester at the moment. I think we've seen.
Brendan, can you come back, please? I need you. I need you to save our season.
I
please.
just think Leicester have the most balanced side in the Premier League. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the best side in the
it really
Premier League,
is.
but it's like from front to back, it's just
I'm not wrong.
works well together, and it's just
Yeah,
I haven't seen a weakness really.
that's what we've been. That was what we were saying on the stream. Is just Jamie Vardy, probably one of the best strikers in the Prem, 100%. They got 2 good wingers in
Yep.
Harvey Barnes. Albrighton played that game, but they have other players that can play there too. James Maddison, Tielemans, and Didi.
Yeah.
And then their back line is just. It's been fantastic this season with a good, solid keeper.
Their
in Schmeichel.
goalkeeper, yeah, Schmeichel's great. 100%. I love that. I love that team.
Well, let's move on because we spoke
Yeah.
about a match that happened on Tuesday for a bit too long.
Yeah,
City
I
Villa.
did mention West Ham 2-1 over West Brom. But yeah, we'll talk about City Aston Villa. That was a huge game. Man City went 2-0.
It's
I'm angry.
it's controversial
angry.
because that
Oh,
no one the offside rule is just messed up right now. I know this has nothing really to do with how VAR has been with it, but what do you guys think of that? Like what's your guys' thoughts?
Silly.
before we even talk
I mean-
about the actual rule and everything, you have to look at even the presenters for the Premier League match day are getting confused on the rule. So after the City game, they talked about it a little bit, but then after the Aston Villa Newcastle game, they tried to break it down and explain what the ruling was and how it worked. And the presenters were like, no, wait, actually, it's this, and no, sorry, I'm confused. Is it? And it's like, if these guys who are paid by the actual Premier League, who are former players, have been around the game for years, if they're getting confused on it, maybe the rules are not correct. So ultimately, to explain if anyone has not seen the goal that we're talking about in the City Villa match. Ball gets cleared out. It gets played back to Tyrone Mings. Now, when Tyrone Mings chest controls the ball, plays it down to his feet, he is unaware that about 10 yards behind him, offside, is Rodri. Now, when he chests the ball down, it's deemed to be a new phase of play. So Rodri is now eligible to partake in the play. He runs up, he makes a challenge on Tyrone Mings, he moves the ball forward, plays it to Bernardo Silva, who scores a wonder goal. Nothing taken away from Bernardo Silva. Fantastic finish,
yeah.
Fantastic goal. But I don't understand how a player who's 10 yards behind the center back can therefore run and go get the ball off the center back. To me, if I'm offside and the ball's at him, I can't then go make a challenge on him and not be affecting the play.
I'm a little mixed on this. Like, I think we've seen many times where players were behind a goalkeeper and steal the ball off him. I think the problem is that the header is going towards in a direction where a Manchester City player is heading towards. He doesn't directly get to the ball, but he's going towards the ball, which gets me a little confused. Like, shouldn't that be called offside? But then again,
it's not like Rodri. Yeah, it's not like Rodri waited like 3 seconds and Tyrone Mings like waited as well. He went directly for that ball as soon as it got kicked towards him.
From an offside position, he directly affected the play. I don't understand how that's not offside. And I mean, Dean Smith, the Aston Villa manager, he absolutely lost it during the match. He got sent off to the stand.
You should. Aston Villa played a great game. It's 0-0. That was like the 80th minute. And
his quote after the game was, "It was a farcical decision to allow the first goal. I've not seen a goal like that ever given. It needs to be looked at. I don't think anyone in this stadium thought it was a goal." And he said, "I thought they would go over to the VAR screen. I saw the incident and saw it was kicking off. So I asked the fourth official, did they get juggling balls for Christmas?" A couple, as Lucas always says, a bit of a clown fiesta there.
That's more Greg's saying.
That's what I say.
We all say it at this point. I don't even know anymore. But I was.
But then
so,
City get a penalty and they end up winning 2-0.
Yeah, I was so upset by it.
Yeah, no, it sucks because Villa did play pretty decent against Man City. They counter well. Traore had a good chance for them. I just feel like Villa got so unlucky in this game because, they have been playing well this year.
But luckily for Villa, they did get a win over at Newcastle on Saturday, which
True.
There was a great goal by Traore there, and I think Newcastle, they have a lot to be worried about.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Another result that happened was United beat Fulham quickly, Greg. We were live streamed that, so if you guys want to see our reactions to that, just go back and watch it. But Greg, Fulham, I thought they played well that game. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, United should be beating Fulham," of course, but guess you're a good challenge. You created well. I thought you could have. You got the lead early, so it's a shame that Fulham's down.
I thought you guys definitely dominated the game, but I thought it definitely could have ended anyway because we scored a nice goal early on. Areola made a dumb mistake, which cost us the game, and then Pogba scored a wonder goal. So, I mean...
Yeah, it just...
Areola seems very, divided or, polarizing because he seems like a great goalkeeper, but just has been making a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, he's very good at shot stopping. But...
Once again, United scrape a victory by one of the lower sides, but 3 points to 3 points at the end of the day. Unlucky for Fulham,
a team that can't seem to beat lower sides.
Liverpool loses 1-0 to Burnley. I did not catch this game, unfortunately. Lucas, can you guys give us just a small breakdown? Liam's laughing.
Anfield is no fortress. It has been broken, my friends.
I've asked Lucas for Liverpool to beat the smaller teams that are near Fulham 3 or 4 times now this season, and they never do it. So, yeah.
Yep. First time in 68 matches that Liverpool are beaten at home.
It's to Burnley.
It was wild.
No offense to Burnley,
because
but it's
Lucas calls. He says Burnley's style of play is terrible. I don't like their style of play. Here they are doing the business at Anfield.
Liam, you were definitely misquoting me there, and you're definitely using some sort of fallacy there. But you got to give credit to Burnley. Burnley knows who they are. They know they can't play this fantastic style of football. They know they have to keep a low block, defend well, and nick a goal from here and there. Because they play a conservative approach, but it's an approach that works. Sean Dyche has been getting this team who, on paper, you'd think might get relegated last few seasons, but instead he's been keeping them safe constantly and even got them to Europe in one season. So you got to give credit to them. I know I am a bit biased, so I thought we didn't deserve to lose this game necessarily, but at the end of the day, they scored the goal. Liverpool didn't take the few chances they got and were struggling to actually create lots of chances with the amount of possession they had. A little annoying. The front three again were misfiring. We're all of them not in form at the moment, which is really annoying.
Well, you didn't start Salah or Firmino that game though as well.
Yeah, I know people were criticizing that, but I was thinking, well, if they're not scoring, then maybe have them sit on the bench for a bit and see, okay, I need to step it up. But of course that didn't happen. And Debacle really should have scored in the first half, but he hit the crossbar on a break.
Divock should have scored. He should have. He brings in Oxlade-Chamberlain and Shaqiri. I mean, two players who have not featured a ton for you guys, and I think are kind of on their way out to the club.
I thought Shaqiri was good. I like what Shaqiri brings to his side. Left-footed, tries to make more riskier passes, or like tries to actually make passes in behind, tries to beat a man, which I like. But unfortunately, Liverpool.
Can we talk about Trent?
I mean,
I think Trent Alexander-Arnold has been a bit shocking for you so far this year.
Yeah, he hasn't been great.
This match alone, this match he had 21 crosses into the box. Only one of them found a target. For someone whose specialty is crossing and set pieces, stuff like that, I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know if he's trying to do too much or something.
It's also maybe slight fatigue. He has been playing a lot of football over the last year, so a lot of these Liverpool players have. So
he also had injuries and COVID this year too, and we don't know how badly COVID affected him, if at all, or if to a great margin.
I mean, we look at your bench. I mean, you have Nico Williams, you have Kelleher, your backup young goalkeeper. You got Phillips, your Smikas. Minamino, Jones, and James Milner. Are those guys really good enough to be? I don't know.
Unfortunately, Liverpool's just had
a Premier League champion.
Unfortunately, Liverpool's just had a lot of issues with injuries this season. No one's gonna deny that. I think as much as you're missing Virgil van Dijk, of course, I think Jota being missing right now, the difference he would make for that your lack of scoring right now would be crazy.
Yeah, because he was a different option to bring in, and he was actually a good player, a great player for us during that time. Unfortunately, Liverpool have had to.
How long is he out for, roughly?
I think he's out till February, but hopefully it's sooner.
You're starting with Matip there today, the back line there. You have had Fabinho and Henderson at times back there. So yeah, you have a ton of rotation, a ton of players playing out of position. It's not working for you at the moment.
I mean, yeah, it's like when when you're unable to get a consistent starting lineup, then the rhythm kind of throws itself off, which is unfortunate. But then again,
100%.
Liverpool should be winning this match. They shouldn't be losing at home right at this moment in time to Burnley. I'm really annoyed that the undefeated streak at home ended. I really thought that this Liverpool side had the capability to break that Chelsea record, which was 86 matches, but unfortunately they get to keep that.
You said that Jota should be back in February or so. Of course, this is the last podcast Nice Minute will be doing here in January. That means February is right around the corner, and you know what that means, boys. February, of course, Valentine's Day. Our friends over at Manscaped have yet again sponsored the 90th Minute Podcast, so thank you all very much for that. We greatly appreciate all the support those guys have been given to our channel. It's great. But Valentine's Day is upon us, so make sure you are ready to see whatever that happens that night. You never know. Of course, there's still COVID lockdown, so be safe. But if you're at home with your girl or your guy or whoever you're with, a little bit of Manscaped. As Woz is showing you there, the brand new Manscaped Refined Cologne. Let me tell you how good that thing smells. It is manly, it is strong, but it is also just, as the name implies, it is refined. It's a fantastic product. Great packaging. Was couldn't figure out how to open up. It was that good.
Oh, wow, that smells nice.
It does smell. It smells really,
Wow.
really nice, honestly.
That
And
is
as well-
something.
It is very nice, yeah.
And
It
as
is.
it says here, a modern statement of refinement and masculinity. This clean and manly scent will inspire the confidence to conquer all, not just in the bedroom, but also on the pitch.
100% sure. But yes, along with the refined cologne, Manscaped, of course, is also the best in male grooming below the waist. So the Lawnmower 3.0, I don't know if Waz got his there. Did you get yours?
Well, yeah, of course, it's behind me here in my little nice Manscaped bag. Fantastic.
The travel bag is lovely.
Great
yeah.
travel bag. It's awesome. Probably the best travel bag I own.
Honestly, the Manscaped products are all
here's
just
the Lawnmower
fantastic.
3.0. I know we're sponsored by this guy's stuff, but this stuff is fantastic. Some of the best products
It
I've
is.
ever used.
Yeah,
And then you
so
got
it's the
your-
Lawnmower 3.0. It's got ceramic blades. You will not cut yourself. 7,000 RPM motor. It has a light, and it also is waterproof, so you can take it into the shower with you, clean yourself up. Over 2 million men have already tried out Manscaped. You know their products are good. You know their prices are good. The 90th minute, we're not selling you shit. I hate to break it to you. We're selling you some good stuff. So check out 90th minute. No, check out manscaped.com and use code 90th at checkout. You get 20% off plus free shipping. So it makes it already great prices even better. So yeah. Check out the refined cologne. Check out the Lawnmower 3.0 and all the other products Manscaped has to offer. Use code 90th at checkout for 20% off plus free shipping. Yet again, thank you to Manscaped.
And just now, to go back to the Premier League, we're just going to look at forward. Here's a table as it shapes up. United's in first with 40 points. City, 38 points. Leicester City in third with 38 points. Liverpool fourth with 34 points. Tottenham, 33 points. Looking forward to this week of a big match between Liverpool and Spurs on Thursday, 1 o'clock. We will try to live stream that. Nothing confirmed yet. So that sounds very exciting. Yeah, huge game. Champions League positions are now on the line. We're getting to that point of the season. And then also big games to look forward to. Next, on the weekend, we do have Arsenal versus United. We may try to aim that one for Twitch. We're not too sure. Nothing confirmed yet. So, yeah, great couple, great football matches. We also have Southampton, Arsenal on Tuesday. Brighton, Fulham, great, bottom table battle there. So Everton, Leicester will be fun. A lot of good matches to keep an eye on in the Premier League. So I think now we should turn our attention to Serie A, where things are starting to look interesting as Milan took another loss.
It's a big L.
Yeah, to Atalanta. 3-0.
Yeah.
Was it?
What
Yes.
is. It is what it is.
Liam is thinking that Juve is still going to win the league because of a
If
loss
you did
like
not
this.
check out our last podcast, me and Wazinho made a bit of a bet. I said that Juventus would win the league, and Wazinho said that they would not. So if Juventus do win Serie A this season, I get to put a pie right in Wazinho's big old face. If they do not win Serie A for the first time in however long, I had to do a shot of ghost pepper hot sauce, which, I mean, that'd be fun. But to talk about the matches, yes, AC Milan, who were top of Serie A, they lost 3-0 to Atalanta, a huge result there. Did any of you guys watch this game?
I got to watch
I
this
watched
game.
a bit of it. I kept an eye on it.
I got to watch it until like the 60th minute. I thought Atalanta were incredible. Like, it's just such a, like the hipster inside me, Liam.
Yeah.
Oh, they're no longer really a hipster team. Teams know that this team is good. They have a nice style of play. Although earlier in the season, people were doubting them when they were struggling, not
Yeah.
getting results. Things were going on in the background. People were thinking, oh, is this Atalanta run over? No, we're just seeing what happened last season. They're starting to perform again in the new year, and they're just looking really good right now. They have a great team all along. Maybe some players we might not be as familiar with as others, but they have great depth to their side, except maybe in some midfield positions. I think Josip Ilicic is still underrated. Like, he's just so silky with the ball. I know that sounds weird, but
Even Zapata.
He was.
had a great game
You're
today.
not wrong. Ilicic was fun to watch. He was driving the net forward well, giving passes to the pit. Like, it was just good forward passes. He was shooting well. I mean, it's what you expect from Josip Ilicic. He's a complete forward.
yeah. And I just want
Yeah.
to mention one thing
yeah.
because Papu Gomez was one of the problems in the background because he apparently got into a heated exchange with Gasperini, and he's expected to be joining Sevilla, I think, this week.
Oh,
So
wow.
people were thinking, oh, if Papu Gomez leaves, it's all over for Atalanta. But if we look at this stat from Italian Football TV, they got it via Sky Sports, but Atalanta's average with Papu Gomez, 1.5 points a game, 40% wins, 1.9 goals a game, 1.7 goals conceded. But without Papu Gomez, they have 2.3 points a game, 67% wins, 2.8 goals a game, 0.7 conceded. And I think a big thing with that is Mr. Pessina, he's playing now in that role Papu Gomez mainly played in, but he's more of a he provides more defensive security for Atalanta, which I think gives the side more balance.
No, yeah, definitely. No, there was people who commented on the TikTok as well saying, how can you call Papu Gomez overrated? I mean, you're starting to kind of put out some good facts. Yeah, I mean, when I think of Atalanta, I'm not really thinking of Papu Gomez. I'm thinking of Ilicic, Zapata, the few other players that are playing well for them, right? So, yeah. Another thing in Serie A, once again, that was a 3-0 loss to Milan, who are still atop the table. Milan, 2 losses in the last 5 games, 3 wins. So, Liam, you're going to say something.
No, I was just going to say, there's a bit of a... AC Milan, I don't know what's going on there in terms of form. Is this maybe more true to the form of what they are? Or is it just... maybe just had a little dip in the road? I don't know.
Well, what are you talking about form? Liam, just explain your point. What do you mean by form? They did lose more games, the same amount of games in this month than they did in all of last season, but those losses are against 2 great teams. Juventus 4-1 when AC Milan had 8 or 9 players out, and they lost to Atalanta, who I wouldn't be surprised if they finished near the top of Serie A this season.
100%, yeah. I mean, what's your question to me?
Well, you said you're saying about their form, but they're winning other matches around that. They're still first place.
They've lost 2 games in the past couple of weeks.
Yes, like I mentioned, to Juventus and Atalanta. Juventus, who you think is going to win Serie A, which was a match where where AC Milan had so many players out, and then Atalanta, who I mentioned, I think is going to finish near the top.
What I asked was, is this a little dip in the road for them in terms of just they'll bounce back after a couple other matches and they'll go back to their winning ways because they're a great club, or is this going? Maybe they were overperforming a little bit so far this season in Serie A, and they're just injuries, COVID, whatever else is happening, dips them down a little bit, and then they'll cruise at that level for the rest of it. That's what I'm asking. Not anything about their form or who they played. It's just the club AC Milan themselves.
Maybe they are overperforming, but at the same time, several of their draws they've had, they didn't necessarily deserve to draw those matches.
I mean, not to draw a comparison to other teams, but we looked at Leicester last season, the end of the Premier League. They were flying so well. They had a couple of big injuries, a couple of bad results, and then all of a sudden they finished the year shockingly.
Right around January.
Probably right below form, but maybe that could happen with AC Milan. I'm not saying it will, I'm saying it's potential.
I mean, it can happen, definitely. I think with Europa League coming up, I think that... Exactly. Something needs to get sacrificed a little. Will their Europa League form dip, or will their Serie A form dip? It's really up to them. They are getting some players into the club, though. Tomori has joined.
Yeah, Tomori.
Mm-hmm. And I think they are trying some other players.
They signed Mario Mandzukic as well.
Yeah. Didn't they have Kalinoglu out as well because of COVID?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's one.
They had players out.
Yeah, some of their best players are out, anyways.
Inter Milan, they did
also,
drop
if you guys haven't
points
seen,
as well.
Ibrahimovic got a new haircut. He's now bald. So,
he shaved his
different
head.
look. It's very strange.
It is very strange.
Ibra does his things.
Inter Milan did drop points as well as they drew Udinese 0-0. So top of the table, dropping points. Roma, they got a big 4-3 victory over Spezia in what must have been an absolutely insane match. But then the boys over at Juventus.
It
wasn't insane. What happened, Lucas? What happened? Tell me right now.
I tuned in like the last 20 minutes. It was already a 3-2 Roma. I'm like, I missed all the goals. Great. But then in the 90th minute, Spezia's tied the game up, and like, oh my gosh, they're gonna get this result against Roma. But then, just right after kickoff, Roma go and win the match.
Yeah,
4-3. That's insane.
Captain Eggy Greggy was in charge, and he got the boys hyped. A couple other teams dropping points though. Napoli, they lost 3-1 to Hellas Verona. Poor result there for the Naples side. Sassuolo, they lost 2-1 versus Lazio. But Juventus, they beat Bologna 2-0.
As they should.
It's just as they should, but it's just
That's-
exactly, Lucas, as it should be.
Well-
Juventus will get results and climb back up the table.
Okay, so this guy's expecting Juve to lose like every game, apparently.
Well, Juventus are currently fourth. They are sitting on 36 points with one game in hand. AC Milan are top of the table on 43. So it's really not that big of a gap.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, but also Juventus have been very inconsistent.
Well, let's look at
this
Inter
year.
Milan. Inter Milan in the past 5 matches, Inter Milan have lost 1 and drawn 2. AC Milan have lost 2. And you look at Juventus, they have a 1 loss. They do. But you know what? I think they're cruising. They're getting there. Don't worry. Cristiano's there. He'll do his thing.
All right, so
You know, Cristiano
that-
Ronaldo played at Real Madrid and didn't win that many La Liga titles.
It's true.
He won a lot of Champions Leagues, which is
That
all
was
they
a
care
lot
about.
later in their
La
tenure, though.
decima. La decima.
That was in like the
Although-
second half of the decade.
Speaking
La
of
decima.
Cristiano Ronaldo, he currently has 15 goals in Serie A, doing his things.
It's just
Immobile
insane.
with 13, Romelu Lukaku 12 goals, Zlatan with 12 goals. So, yeah,
You
good-
can't beat
fun.
greatness.
Serie A
Juventus is
great.
greatness.
It's great. Serie A.
Juventus is great.
Move on to Bundesliga now, I think, where some interesting results.
Yeah, we can quickly go over Bundesliga.
Yeah, let's not speak too much, but Gladbach beat Dortmund 4-2 on Friday.
Yeah, Dortmund are officially out of the title race. Goodbye.
I think every team's out of the title race, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Sorry, Germany.
Bayern have not been
you've
good
got
this
some great
season.
talent.
Bayern have not been good
That's
this
the thing.
season.
They haven't been good.
But the other teams, they're just not because
It's-
like Leipzig,
they've all
they
been-
sold Werner, their top goal scorer, so they've had to take a
Yeah.
step down. Leverkusen, they have a lot of nice players in there that I like, but they're still a young team and possibly 1 or 2 steps away. Wolfsburg being up there is fantastic. They've surprised me on several occasions. Gladbach are a little. They had a poor start to this season, but they've been really good recently. Like they've beaten Leverkusen, I think.
Yeah,
They've
you're not
beaten
wrong. They're on good form.
they've beaten Bayern and Dortmund recently, so they're in good form.
Hopefully this-
Frankfurt,
I
they
really-
have
I really-
Jovic back
I really
and they're just
hope,
killing it.
Sorry, look, I was just gonna say, I really hope Gladbach's form carries over to the Champions League. So
yeah.
We'll see.
but
I
yeah,
mean, Bayern
Jovic-
Bayern did smack Schalke 4-0.
That's 12 goals against Schalke this season.
That's exciting. I enjoy that.
And then Dortmund, like usual, can't defend set pieces, and are just struggling
can
with
do
defense
that.
in
they're
general.
they're shocking on
Good
at the
job,
moment.
boss. Good job, boss. I like that.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, for Dortmund, it's more instead of set pieces, it's more like sad pieces.
Wow. That
Get
was
the hell out of here.
honestly.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so that's just to quickly cover Bundesliga, top goal scorers. Lewandowski, 23 goals. Andre Silva in second with 14 goals. So,
Also, Schalke didn't win.
Lewandowski.
Huh?
Schalke
Sorry,
didn't win.
Lucas? They did not win, no.
And yeah,
They lost 4-0 to Bayern.
Hoppe could not
You meant-
score again.
He could not hop his way into the headlines.
Get out of here, man. Get out
Okay,
of here.
can we
Yeah,
just
you're done.
stop with that? Holy
That's,
Can we go
That's
to
Bundesliga.
Spain? Let's go to Spain because just like the Bundesliga,
Well,
is the title race over?
I don't know. There was one specific thing that happened in Spain I wanted to kind of talk about. It was Real
Yes.
Madrid. They lost. They're out of the Copa del Rey. They lost to a club called
Third division.
Alcoyano. I probably
Yeah.
butchered that. But they lost 2-1 to this club, and they had a red card.
Yep.
Yikes.
Third division club, man down, the knockout Real Madrid. You absolutely love to see it.
Mate, Real Madrid had Vinicius, Mariano. Sure, they rotate some players, but they said Casemiro, Valverde. They had some
had a good team.
I mean, they did rotate a majority of the team, but these are world-class players. Isco was playing. Come on, like, Toni Kroos, Eden Hazard got subbed on. You should be beating this team. That is a stain. Good.
That is a stain. Good.
Good. I like seeing them lose
They
to
did bounce
third
back
division
though. They did bounce back in the La Liga.
Yeah.
They beat Alaves 4-1. Currently, right now, Atletico Madrid are 1-1 with Valencia. Great game there.
Well, you don't. How do you know it's a great game? You're not watching it.
It's two big clubs. It's two big clubs. It should be. A
You
big
said
game.
they weren't two big clubs before the
but some-
podcast started.
Lucas, I was clearly joking. Relax. Let's simmer down. Elche, they lost 2-0 to Barcelona. Matt would be happy if he was here. Where is he, by the way?
He'll come
What
when
is
we talk
Matthew
about
doing?
Super League.
This man, he hurts my head.
But
Is there anything else we want to talk about domestic
you
league-wise?
guys mentioned that that's magic of the FA Cup, but what about the magic of the Copa del Rey? So many upsets this year.
Exactly, Liam.
It's got the magic in me.
Seems like Liam's got a bias.
I just said it was a fantastic result. What?
But anyways, let's move on. Are we moving on to Super League?
Okay.
Yeah, let's try
Sure,
to get
get
Matt.
let me
Maddie
get
in
Maddie.
here. Well, Maddie's here. While he's here, I'll talk about some little quick headlines that I've read. Rafa Benitez has left his club in China. There was talks about him potentially going to Celtic. No, that's not happening. He's basically turned down the move and said he's not interested in it. I didn't think he would be anyways. Why the hell would he want to come here? Mesut Ozil has arrived at Fenerbahce. His transfer was confirmed. He said, I will be a gunner for life. Arsenal fan, but he also is a Fenerbahce fan. He's happy to be there. It's good to see him get some first team football again. He's 32 years old. He's got a lot of quality left. It's just to see if he can get back into that match sharpness that would be required.
All right, and we're back. Matt has joined us. Welcome, Matt. You're looking nice. I like the little sweater you got going on. Nice little. He's fashion trendsetter, man. Liam, you can learn a thing or two from him.
I'm just being here, man. I joined the live stream. He didn't do that.
I'm sorry for bullying you, Liam. But yeah, we're gonna
I got a
talk
solid
about
5 hours of sleep, man.
FIFA versus the European Super League. I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's been a European Super League in the works or talks for years now. But apparently there was some crazy stuff going on this week, right, Lucas?
Yeah, there was. So we did find out that FIFA and the confederations of the continents for football, so like UEFA, CONCACAF, CONMEBOL, etc., they came together and said that they're against the European Super League that is becoming a plan between 15 clubs supposedly, and they're against this, and that if any player joins the Super League, they'll be banned from any FIFA competitions, including the FIFA World Cup. So for those that don't know what the Super League is, I have this thread from James Corbett on Twitter, and I'm just going to read through it because he explains pretty well what this deal is all about. So the plan is that it would guarantee massive income to a 15-club elite and cement financial gaps not only between those competing in the Super League and those not, but within it. The plan is one-off payments of up to 350 million euros to the 15 founder members, but only 6 clubs would receive the full amount, with 5 of the initial members receiving just 100 million euros or 112.5 million euros. The 15 breakaway clubs have designed this to have 5 merit-based qualifiers each season. Those 5 teams would have no say in running the Super League and are entirely excluded from the commercial pot worth 15% of the income.
So basically, these are like the biggest clubs from each big country just forming a league on their own.
Yeah, pretty much like the biggest clubs. And like how American sports works, the franchising.
Okay.
It's pretty much that. You literally, it's like a small group of people, small group of owners, and no one can get in, no one can get out
like
unless
almost.
if you pay money.
Were they also gonna have a goddamn draft of players? No relegations. I don't know, man. I like the way it's set up in Europe right now.
It's basically like the Champions League, but for a season.
It's
it's
essentially saying,
restricted to-
screw tradition. It's like so. It's just how businesses and society is. It's like screw tradition. If money's to be made, let's just make money. I know Fiorentino Perez is behind it. The guy's an opportunist like nothing.
Of course he is.
So I mean, I think most football fans would be against it because it sounds scummy, and it kind of kills the grassroots of the game.
Yeah, the thing is though, I think there's a lot of people that would be behind it, like the very casual fans that maybe don't know how important football as a sport is to the communities in countries in England, Spain, and other countries all around the world. Because more people may want to watch like a Real Madrid versus a Liverpool. That happens more often than not.
The Champions League generates huge money. What if you could have that over a season kind of thing? I mean, financially it makes sense, but like you said, history wise and correctness wise, it's not a good move. Maddie, what do you want to say?
Looking to the future, I don't think it's a good move for any of the clubs that are in the 15, aside from money. But it's like the allure of big games is the fact that they don't happen very often. So if you watch Real Madrid play Liverpool twice on a yearly basis every year for the next 15 years, it's going to become less appealing.
You'd eventually
Liverpool running into Real Madrid in the Champions League final. Now, as for the teams that are there, the 15 teams, no matter which way, no matter which amount of teams, the quality of the teams are, whatever league you put them in, there's always going to be disparity between the best clubs and the worst clubs. So maybe if this happens, first few years, have a bunch of teams that are fairly on equal footing. But let's say it boils down to Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern coming, being the best three teams in that competition. Players are going to siphon off necessarily to go play for those three teams. Then you're going to have just as much disparity between, let's say, Liverpool, who might lose all their players, and the rest of the big teams in that league. And it's just going to turn out being the same thing as always.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there has to be a leader kind of thing. There has to be a top and a bottom to the league.
And you gotta ask what happens to the Champions League, right? Do we just dissolve it and
No one's gonna watch the Champions League if they can watch that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It also kills the romanticism of football, which, if they create this league, who says that maybe these top sides don't leave the Premier League in the future one day?
Yeah.
Who says would that eventually potentially kill moments like Leicester City winning the Premier League one year, or like upsets that happen in the Champions League, like
Burnley beating Liverpool? That wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love watching stories like Ajax unfold, and I don't think Ajax would be in this league.
Yeah.
It would make the Champions League just not existent.
Irrelevant.
Like you wouldn't want to watch it. Like the
way
Champions League's exciting because you, like Matt says, you get to watch Liverpool take on Real Madrid in a game. It's exciting for that.
You have with the Champions League is that it's the same teams contending at the end of the day for the title every year.
Not always.
I mean,
you had Spurs, you had Ajax in there a couple years ago.
It's changing a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's the same common names. You don't.
It just goes in cycles, was.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you bring the Super League and you pretty much give nearly no options to anyone to qualify, which means a bunch of smaller teams, like even outside the top 5 leagues, lose out on huge potential earnings, which instead of improving football all around Europe, it just only parts that improve football specific areas in like 5 countries. Because it would be like the 6 Premier League clubs, I think. It would be the 3 top La Liga clubs, 3 Italian clubs, PSG, I think.
I don't think Atletico Madrid would get in there.
No, they would be in there.
Would for sure take them.
No, they are in there. Like they already had found out like the 15 names. I know Atletico Madrid were in there. I know Dortmund were in there. I know the top 6 Premier League sides were in there. So
are Arsenal in there?
Yep.
That's a joke. They're not a top 6 team.
Well, if you got the money, you're in basically.
That's a big thing.
I like the rules they have behind it though. It's like if you go into this league, you're not allowed the World Cup or anything. That'd be
Yeah, that's the point there when you talk about would players want. Would players, let's say this league still goes ahead, if you're Antoine Griezmann, would you want to enter this league if you couldn't represent France anymore? Like, I don't know.
No, because it's like
most players would probably take the money if it's substantial enough.
It depends. Like, are the guys mercenaries or are they love the sport?
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're a mercenary. The difference between 100K a week and 250K a week is more than substantial. If I was a player and I was offered that difference, sorry, man, that's a lot of money to be leaving on a table. A lot of money that can go to your family for generations. It's not necessarily making you a mercenary, but a lot of money, you know. Sometimes you gotta do what's best for you.
You gotta secure the bag.
I was gonna move on to a few small things before we head into questions. I know we've been on this topic for a while. Quickly, I mean, the FIFA EA Sports Team of the Year came out. A lot of drama around
Mbappe.
Mbappe being
so bad.
Come on, guys.
The Team of the Year is so bad, man. offense to Bruno.
in
Bruno
my
should not be
opinion,
that much
just
better than
upset-
Kevin De Bruyne.
You are just salty because Lionel Messi was left out.
No, it's
No,
also
man.
true. Lionel Messi should
First
be
off,
in there.
Above Lewandowski, no. Above Cristiano Ronaldo, no. Above Mbappe, absolutely. Should Bruno be like only a 1 overall difference between the cards between Bruno and De Bruyne? Like the cards themselves, man. Is there that much of a difference between Bruno and De Bruyne? No. Bruno's got better defending than Kevin fucking De Bruyne. His team of the year card. I don't know. They're just stroking off certain sets of fans. That's really all they're doing. They're stroking off people who love Mbappe, which is every 10-year-old kid
Well,
who loves to be a dick on FIFA.
Not that. It's also because he's a cover star, so they're gonna, hype
Yeah,
him
but
up.
that's not how it's supposed to be.
Unfortunately,
like,
EA,
Bruno-
they don't give a shit about football team.
Bruno
They
should
care about-
absolutely be in the team of the year. Should he be?
He is not
Should he be a
in
higher
football.
rating? Because what is
in a business
He's a
of-
97.
97?
Yeah.
Should he be like? I think he should. I don't know if he should be. Maybe 1 overall higher. Should Kevin De Bruyne be 96? I don't think he was that bad. It was kind of disrespectful. Even
If
not
anything,
giving
they should be the same
Lewandowski a
rating,
99, kind of disrespectful. So
And the thing is, Mbappe was
Just
probably not
bad.
even the best player at PSG. It was Neymar.
it was definitely Neymar. It wasn't
So,
probably. It
And
was
then
definitely
well,
Neymar
I mean,
season.
you say it's the worst team of the year. I mean, I like the fact that Alphonso Davies is in there,
So
Lewandowski's in there.
this is the worst team of the year. This is the least it's not because I don't play Ultimate Team this year, but this is the least appealing team of the year I've seen.
I'm appealed to it because of my favorite players are in it, right? So
I think
But
I
at the
think the
same
worst
time-
one was when David Luiz got in it.
no, my least favorite was when it was all La Liga, all the whole La
Yeah,
Liga
the
team.
La Liga,
That was
yeah.
That was the team of the year
2013.
though. That was the team of the year.
I don't know. Van
Well,
Persie
yeah,
could have been in
David
it.
Luiz should never be in any team of the year ever.
The thing
Sorry,
is, that
Greg.
was FIFA voted. That one wasn't like based on fans voting. So that what makes it even worse.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know
no,
this
that one was
FIFA
just
EA Sports Team of the
circumstantial.
Year is a joke. You know
That
it's a
was
joke when
just
people are
scratching
voting based on I want to know the third FIFA card. Like, piss off.
Well, let's be honest here. Let's be completely real. If you pack Mbappe
yeah.
for team of the year, you're gonna lose your goddamn mind.
Yeah, no
Don't hate.
shit.
Don't be
No
salty.
shit, but I prefer actual football.
Oh, it should be like the player of the month thing. The team of the
Yeah.
year should be the team of the year. It's just the way that is.
Only thing I was gonna mention before I end the question is that for Lucas and I, Poland actually got a new coach for once, and someone who's actually coached outside of Poland. I'm happy. I hope he actually does something.
You guys will make it out of the
He's
group stage.
Portuguese.
Paulo Sousa.
We did that. Who? What was his first name?
Paulo Sousa.
Paulo Sousa.
All I can hear is Maddie's dog right now, living his best life.
Fucking
yeah, he's
idiot.
coached across Europe, and he's probably got better reputation than any Polish manager we've had in the last couple of years. So, go Paulo, take us to the World Cup final.
Ooh.
Probably
Questions.
All right, so good question from a guy named Liam. OK, 2007. Day 2 of asking: would Waz or Lucas rather win a World Cup with Poland or Canada, and would rather Liam win one with Scotland or Canada?
Well, I can't win a World Cup.
Wait,
Yeah,
it's
man,
it's
we just
I mean, Greg, you're all
I
Canadian
know.
to be fair.
It don't matter. I'm not playing
Man,
for
Matt
Canada.
can't
I'd
win a-
rather.
Yeah.
I'd rather just
Jamaica
not
or
play
England?
than play for Canada. I would rather play for Jamaica than play for Canada. 100%.
There's his allegiances. I'm gonna be honest. When I was younger, I was all in for Poland, playing for Poland, like when I was super young. But as I've gotten older, I've kind of more appreciated living in Canada. So I think I'd rather win with Canada.
I got nothing against living in Canada. I just got
Yeah,
everything against
I'm-
Canada's
I'm
football,
just- yeah.
footballing system.
I would
So,
love to play for Scotland. I could
that.
also play for Italy with my mom's side, but no, I am Canadian. I'd win the World Cup for Canada.
I mean, you try, but you probably would.
I'm a little torn between this one because
Yeah.
if I won the World Cup with Canada, I'd be happy, and my friends would be happy. But then if I won it with Poland, my family would be really happy.
I think your family would be happy if you won a World Cup either way, Lucas.
Yeah,
I hate to
that's
break it to
true.
you.
Probably.
I don't think your
I
dad
don't-
would go.
I-
you know, he
I
won
wouldn't
it
care.
with
I wouldn't care if you won.
I've
World
also
Cup
like
for
had
either of them, to
some
be honest, but
annoyances with how Canada's football works. Like not as bad as Matt. Like we won't go into
it's
that, but
fucking shit.
like I've had some grievances with that. But I guess like I'd probably choose Canada just slightly.
for like I think it'd be like a for a sentimental. Your heart kind of says you want to win it for the country that you love watching their football kind of thing. So Poland or Scotland or whatever.
And also, it's just like
But-
it's like appreciating my roots. Like my whole family
Yeah.
comes from Poland.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
Like
It's a hard decision.
like all of us here except for Greg are first generation Canadians. So,
yeah.
but
I'd probably play for
I don't know,
Jamaica if I
I-
had to choose. But
It's tough because I would love to play for Poland and win it, but I don't know I think the older I've gotten, the more I am proud to be Canadian, and the more I realize
I
how
could
like
just
lucky
see,
I am.
let's be real.
Yeah,
no matter which
100%,
no matter
yeah.
which
Yeah.
team either of us play for, except for maybe Liam with Italy, we're not winning shit. So
I can just see. So Jamaica pulls off a huge upset. Jamaica wins the World Cup. Woo! Maddie's captaining this time. He's got the World Cup in his hands. He's about to go up to the stage. He goes to the camera. He goes, "Wagwan."
I would honestly just be happy to make it to the World Cup with Jamaica.
I'll be honest.
Honestly.
For that to happen, all the English Jamaicans would have to boycott the English FA. And
Yeah,
just go
sorry.
play
We
for
need
Jamaica.
get Raheem
Kyle
down
Walker,
here, boys.
Raheem
Yeah.
Sterling.
Leon Bailey, Raheem, Kyle, Ruben, get them all down here.
This is a question
Alex.
I think we've
You
answered
did
before.
Cordova Reed.
But I don't know if we
my guy.
posted it, Lucas.
No offense, Greg.
90th minute. Who is the best football trio, past or present? Now, it doesn't have to be attacking trio. It could be midfield as well.
Wait, what do you
Is
mean by
it-
attack?
well, we've
Like,
done
for the same
midfield trio
club,
before.
for the same
Yeah, I'm
country?
assuming so, yeah.
MSN.
It's not very
MSN.
specific.
I'm pretty sure we've
I think
done a
it'd be
trio
MSN is
for
the
attacking
iconic.
trio and midfield trio before.
Yeah, but which one is the best, do you think? Would you rather have the midfield, or would you rather have MSN or Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets?
I'd rather have
What about
MSN.
Sturridge, Suarez, and
Don't
Sterling?
even get me fucking
The
started.
triple S.
Don't even get me
I think
started.
the easy answer, honestly, is probably MSN. That's the most
One of those
iconic. I know
S's was a
Barca-
lot larger than the other two.
Yeah, I know Barca had another good dynamic trio, but like it was Eto'o, Messi, who else?
We had Thierry Henry,
Dino.
Yeah, I think
Henry.
that was it.
Dino,
Yeah, so
T.
I would go with that.
TT.
MSN is more relevant, I think, too. I don't know.
Larson.
Yeah, it was just everyone talks about MSN as the best trio. It's hard to argue against it.
I mean, that was a fucked up
Neymar.
Trio.
front three, man.
Yeah,
It's just one of those things.
Greg?
What?
you hear the question?
Yes, I've answered
What?
it.
Oh,
Has you? Has you?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, I said MSN, 100%.
oh, okay, thank you, sir.
Greg, it's tough when I can't see your beautiful face.
Next question.
Well, I was going to say Bruno, Martial, and Rashford. I'm honestly surprised.
Well, talking about United, next question is best Man United player since Sir Alex left the club. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
That's got to be Bruno.
Bruno, it's right now. I mean,
is there really
it's-
any other
I
person
can't-
we can say?
I don't think I've seen another player to have
Marcus
such an
Rashford.
influence.
Since
Him
Alex
and
has
Rashford
left.
are probably.
I think
Well,
I think Marcus Rashford's. Yeah,
Let's be real.
I think he's one of the biggest talents that the club has ever produced.
Ibrahimovic
but
was
it's that-
quite decent.
It said best player since Alex.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
I think
Lucas, I
Bruno-
do.
I think Bruno's definitely the best.
I think
player
Marcus
since-
Rashford is a
Since he
fantastic
left.
talent.
I think Marcus Rashford has the potential over the long run to be the best
Not
player.
wrong, but
But I think
I
right
mean,
now,
I do
I
think
think
you need.
Bruno's had the bigger impact
I'm
on
gonna be
that
honest.
club
I think
since Alex left.
Ibrahimovic, when we signed him, he was still quite good. He was scored for us. I'm thinking that at that moment he was quite good for us.
On quality,
But
Di Maria's
Bruno's-
probably like the best, but he didn't really
Yeah.
pull through for the whole.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think if Di Maria didn't have the,
No, you guys
time he
wasted
did,
him.
yeah,
You
because
guys
he
wasted
was
Big
coming off.
Harold Maguire.
Because if you think
Oh,
about it,
God.
actually, Di Maria that year did get into the Team of the Year for I think 2014. So, because he did win the
Yeah.
Champions with Real Madrid, so he was probably the best player we had at the time.
Just didn't work out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, is it Di Maria or is it Bruno? Bruno,
I'd say-
in terms of
Bruno.
total
It's
impact,
not
yeah,
Di
it's-
Maria. It's not him at all.
definitely not
He was there for
Di
1
Maria.
year and did nothing.
Yeah,
Well,
it's,
it's
Bruno.
Bruno.
It's
I think it's
Bruno.
Bruno.
I'm giving a shout
all
to
respect
Marcus,
to
but
Rashford,
sure.
but I think it's Bruno. That guy's
I'm
just
going
Bruno.
Marcus. I'm going him. I'm back at MBE all day.
But Liam, so you're saying Rashford's the best player United have ever produced?
He could be.
Could
he could
be.
be the best
Do
player.
you think he'll
United's
he'll
ever produced.
outdo what
I-
his the legacy of George Best?
I think Marcus
Bobby
Rashford's
Charlton?
a fantastic talent. I mean,
Wayne Rooney.
I know
Oh,
there's
no, Wayne Rooney's
there's
so
some
hot.
there's some immense names to come through the United academies. There's some great players, but I think Marcus Rashford is such a talent, and I mean you have to even consider his off the field work and what he brings to the United community and everything like that. I think he's a fantastic player.
Despite the fact Giggs was a scumbag, he was pretty decent at football. You know,
Yeah,
He was Bex,
He was-
Giggs,
he
yeah,
was all right.
Scholes.
Next question.
Charlton.
There's
was
some
also
good players.
I don't know
but
if I don't know
he's
who answered
suspect
this.
hairline, but he was decent at football too. That guy.
Who is the most underrated Ballon d'Or winner? Pavel Nedved?
I mean, you probably have to talk about the ones that aren't Messi or Ronaldo because they're not talked about as much.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like-
Pavel Nedved
Yeah.
I
potentially.
mean, everyone
Cannavaro.
recognizes Zidane and Ronaldo and all
Yeah.
all that shit. I think Cannavaro got it on a charity, so let's not talk about him.
It's a shout.
Modric?
Fuck him, dude. He got that. He definitely got that on a
Yeah,
charity.
you get that.
That was
charity,
nuts.
yeah.
That guy shouldn't even be a
I'm
Ballon
gonna
d'Or
give my
winner.
love.
I
I'll
think
give my
Pavel
love
Nedved's a good
to-
one.
Yeah.
Nedved is a good
Yeah.
I
one.
know a lot of
it
people say
really
maybe
is.
Michael Owen should have won it, but yeah, definitely.
Platini
people
before
appreciate
he
Nedved.
decided to be before he decided to be a crook was one that no one really talks about, and he won numerous ones and was also one of the best players in the world for a very long, probably one of the best players in history to be honest. But he's also a crook.
I'm just honestly I'm going
Fuck
through
him.
the list of previous winners. I'm trying to. Kevin Keegan won 2 in a row.
Yeah.
He deserves a shout.
I'd say Paulo Rossi's underrated. Rest in
Paulo
peace.
Rossi,
you're
yeah.
not wrong.
Also, Van Basten he was apparently such an incredible goal scorer during that period. Like, it's really, I feel like a lot of people. Oh, Jean-Pierre Papin, that guy was apparently sick.
Yeah, Van Basten, yeah. Papin, yeah, he's playing for Marseille. I love that. You don't even have to go that far back, mid '90s. The second place Ballon d'Or for 1991 played for Red Star Belgrade. I love that. That's so good.
There's two of them in second place.
I'm still kind of
There
upset
is
that Thierry
there's
Henry's never
two
won
second
one.
places.
Yeah,
You talk about how Thierry Henry's never won a fucking Ballon d'Or. How is this?
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Fucking
1989,
Yeah.
1988 and 1989, all of the top 3 were from AC Milan. Right? What?
And 5
I mean,
of
they're
the
pretty
6 names
decent.
were Dutch.
It was pretty good, so I mean,
Yeah,
that's why they're there.
5 out of 6 were Dutch. Man, what a wow. Stoichev was a good player.
I feel like people that aren't in FIFA are like not talked about as much.
George Weah,
Yeah.
best ever African player.
All right. Any time for YouTube questions?
Yeah, let's go into YouTube questions.
Andrei Shevchenko, come on, man. From 2009 all the way to 2013, they were all players who played in Spain. Like, man.
Okay, question from YouTube from Hamish. If you guys could watch any football match of all time with no idea what happens, what would it be and why? If it's not my club, I kind of want to go Spurs Ajax. I thought that game was insane.
So you're saying like if you're in the stadium, like where would you rather be, kind of thing?
Barca PSG.
Or is it just go revisit any
sure.
game?
No, I would go Manchester Derby where Rooney scores the bicycle kick.
Barca PSG for sure. What the fuck did I say? Did I say PSG?
Yeah, PSG,
Yeah,
Barcelona,
I would definitely want to see that.
6-1.
Barcelona, Liverpool, corner taken, goddamn
I
quickly.
can imagine Lucas would
I
want to
gotta
see
go.
that.
I'd like to
I-
experience a 2005 Champions League final at my age now,
Yeah.
without knowing what would happen.
Yeah, so you could, yeah. I mean, Celtic Barcelona, of course. I'd love to rewatch that one and experience that one again.
I mean, United Bayern, but I heard that game was very boring and Bayern really dominated. So I
Then
don't
why
know.
would you want to?
I'd like to go back to games that like before we were born and everything, like
Yeah.
where watch those like
Yeah.
without knowing. What
Like
they were.
I'd like to experience watching like Pele's best game ever or Maradona's best game ever.
I was gonna say Argentina versus England. Maradona, hand to God, plus the greatest goal of all time. I would love to watch that game live. Yeah, there's some huge matches that have occurred.
I mean,
for
if
sure.
if that happened like nowadays and counted, that podcast would be legendary because you'd be loving it.
Yeah.
If,
I think all of us would be
if
loving
the
it.
hand of God happened, if the hand of God happened today, and somehow like VAR didn't happen or something, the world of football would implode. Like it would for a World Cup match. The world of football will just it would just ignite on fire and it couldn't be put out kind of thing. Like, it'd be nuts.
As someone who
England would
unfortunately
riot.
cheers for England in European competitions, even I would be like, fuck, that was sick. Despite the fact that someone just
Like,
scored
to
a
go
half
from
goal
the
against
most controversial moment of all time to see then the greatest goal of all time, all within like 20 minutes of each other. It's like, what is happening? Like,
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of pain for England, though. Pain.
oh, you love
Oh,
to see
yeah.
it though. Love to see it.
Next question I have is: would you rather prime Hullet or prime Xavi?
Xavi.
In FIFA or in real life?
In real life.
Real
Real
life.
life.
You all
Xavi.
know,
We
you
never
all
really
know
got to see
you all know who
Hullet.
anyone's taking in FIFA, but I'm taking Xavi.
I'll be different. I'll go prime Hullet just because he was such a tank apparently in the 80s. His
He
legs
was-
are...
He wasn't
Great,
Of course, he was a
Man was
fucking
really
tank.
versatile. Yeah, he was versatile. He can play any position. Apparently, he even played center forward for a bit striker. So,
But Xavi's my guy, so
I'll go with him.
I cannot
Yeah.
not take
Xavi
Xavi. That's
just-
my fucking dude.
Influence the game in a different way. Like, it's insane what he did.
Probably the best ever
Xavi's
playmaker
mentally, so
Yeah.
superior to anyone else kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I'd probably choose Xavi, like, one of, if not the best midfielder of all time.
Okay, last question we're gonna answer here, hopefully quickly. What is the best goal scored by defender or defensive midfielder? I'm just gonna go
know.
Vincent Kompany against Leicester.
I know Greg's
Carlos
one.
Al fucking Berto or Maicon.
Yeah, true.
Remember that
actually.
Carlos Alberto?
There's a
That
lot
was
of
fucking
fantastic
mental.
ones. But,
Yeah.
you got to say David Luiz as well.
Against Colombia.
I'll go.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a great goal, but I mean, importance-wise, Sergio Ramos against Atletico Madrid in the Champions League final was a huge
I'm gonna go
goal
with
for Real
a
Madrid.
nice Roberto Carlos free kick.
Yeah, the banana free
that's
kick.
a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah.
I'll go with Felipe Mexis' goal, bicycle kick against, I think, Real Madrid in a preseason friendly.
Oh, I remember that.
I'm picking
Yes,
that.
what
not-
a goal that
That's
was.
true. But I think we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. It's been a long podcast. We went through a lot of talking, a lot of football. Liam, you do your thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you are still here, thank you
you
very
for
much.
listening.
If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you do hit like and remember to subscribe to us here. If you listen to us on audio apps, thank you very much. Remember to follow, share us with your friends, help us get our name out there. But from the 5 of us here today, thank you for watching and listening. Make sure you use code 90th at manscaped.com. But this has been yet another week in the beautiful game, and we will see you next time.